We're going to start out here for a few minutes and then move down to the TV studio for a masterclass. But
loosely phrased masterclass.
But for the moment, it's my very great pleasure to welcome Christine Talbot and Duncan Wood from ITV Yorkshire's calendar programme, and my former colleagues. It's really nice to welcome them back. They've always been given generously with their time, especially at Journalism Week. So please welcome them.
Thanks, Kathy.
Do we go like this? I've never seen a mic like this before.
We've never had one of these before. You've got posh stuff here.
I sort of feel like I've got to kind of get down here like this.
Steady on. We've got big enough gobs anyway. You'll probably hear us. He'll hear us fine. Morning. Morning.
Morning.
Morning.
Hello.
No, let's be fair. We've gone a bit ahead of the deadline.
Oh.
We're not on air till 2 minutes' time, so anybody who comes in, we can't rip the mick out of.
Oh,
all right?
Okay. Not
Except we will.
1:45. No.
We obviously will. Well, thanks for having us here again. We sometimes play a film, we sometimes don't.
He'll just do it anyway. I'll tell you.
About how we got to where we are, which we still really can't work out, both of us. But the short and abbreviated version, I think, is that we both followed the same path. That path probably isn't available to you anymore, but there are so many other paths that are now available because we're very old, you're very young. When we started out, there was one particular route that you could take, which was if you went to university, and did everything and got your qualifications, then you could go local newspapers, perhaps national newspapers, local radio, and then into television. It was seen as a natural progression. Personally, for me, I didn't go to university. I went straight from school to a newspaper in Sunderland, the Sunderland Echo. I worked 3.5 years there. You did something called indentures, nothing to do with your teeth. Time you had to stay at the paper, you couldn't leave before 3.5 years. If they invested in you, you were seen as putting something back if you stayed with them. My dad was the boss, so as soon as day, whatever it was, 3.5 years came, I was out the door because I used to get lots of grief. I went then to a freelance agency, then I went to local radio at Metro in Newcastle, then I went to local television, Tyne Tees in Newcastle, then GMTV, hello, morning, and then to Calendar, where I've been for 13 years, and this is Christine's
13 years. Well, I went to university, I went to Manchester University, I did English, and while I was there, one of my friends was thinking about journalism at what was then Preston Poly. It's now University of Lancashire, isn't it?
It's posh
now
called.
Yeah, it sounds very posh, but it was good old Preston Poly in those days. As a postgrad to do journalism, and I'd always been interested in writing journalism, was thinking advertising, something word related, because I like to write. And she got 2 forms, so she said, do you want one of these? I said, oh, okay. I filled in the form she did, and I got on and she didn't. And luckily we are still friends, but I went to the print postgrad course at Preston Poly to do print journalism, went into local papers. I went to the Southport Visitor, did all sort of my training and my exams there, and then went to the Lancashire Evening Post in Preston, and then got the chance to do the odd shift at the BBC in Manchester. I know the BBC, bad word, no, BBC in Manchester, it's a fantastic place. And I used to get up in the morning, I used to do my shift at the Lancashire Evening Post, which sort of finished early because we started at 7. We were done by 4, drive to Manchester and then work till 10 helping with the late news. And I did that once or twice a week for a few months until a job came up. And they just said, would you like to go for this job? And I did, and I got it. And then I was on a 3-month contract, then a 6-month contract. Then I worked there, and then I started presenting while I was at the North West Tonight in Manchester. And then followed my heart because my boyfriend had moved over to Yorkshire.
Soppy.
So that's how I ended up over here. And I've been here ever since. Came over to Calendar as a reporter, ended up again presenting quite quickly, and did a show called The Tonight Programme, which was a little bit like the One Show, only on a regional level, and it was very popular at the time. Before we had multi-channels, before we had about 50 channels or more, hundreds of channels to choose from, you had about 5 at the time, and we did very well with that. And then I went on to Calendar full-time in about 2001, and then Duncan came about 2 years later, and we now are the longest-serving partnership in regional news, and we don't know how it's happened because it all seems about a minute ago since all that happened,
It
doesn't
all
it?
kind of flown by, really.
So-
But one thing to pick up on what Christine said was that very important, I think, is you do put yourself out there to do things. And when she said that she went to the Manchester Post and then made the effort to go and then stay till 10 o'clock at night, it's that kind of extra mile stuff, as we call it, the dedication to wants to achieve and to go that bit further than other people might not do. And gets you recognised, gets you noticed, gets you through a door on other occasions. They'll say, oh yeah, right, that person, yeah, they did, yeah. They made a rubbish cup of tea that day, but don't worry, they came until 10 o'clock and stayed and they helped and they did all of this. It's that extra bit that you add on that can make such a difference. But I mean, we're fully aware that the industry's changed, and what we do now isn't just about us being on television every night at 6 o'clock. He's off. You all right? Sure. I'll just carry on. I keep forgetting. The one thing, and I should have told myself again this today before I came in, that lady over there films every bit of it.
I know, and it goes on
YouTube.
YouTube. We only discovered this last year.
A couple of years ago, we came and I did something. I said some ridiculous things. And then I put YouTube on 3 days later, and there was 53 minutes of this thing on YouTube.
I know,
Absolutely appalling.
That's the
things.
difference now between now and then. Yeah.
It's going to happen again, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the news has changed, hasn't it, completely?
Oh, definitely.
To the point where it's everywhere. As you know, you're learning a different kind of news journalism to the way we did. We did it as at first, obviously, you got your report in the paper. For me, I'd be writing pieces on a Monday that wouldn't go in the paper till Friday because that was the day that we published a weekly newspaper. And now, obviously, everything's instant, you know, isn't it? It's online straight away, it's on Facebook, it's everywhere.
And obviously, I mean, Christine's 35,
Yes.
I'm 54. But
See, they actually look like
some people thought that was right. But we have to realise that, you know, we can't stand still, do nothing, just to rock up to work and do things. Morning. Hello. Nice. Are you going somewhere?
We're not going to be that long.
You're on the holidays. Camp beds are available later on because we go on for a while. But you know, you're never too late to learn things, and obviously with all the social media that's out there, Calendar has a website, itv.com/calendar, which I hope you've looked at in the past. If you don't, look at it again. It's quite good for updating stories and then seeing again if you've missed the programme, which of course, you know, not a lot of people sit down at 6 o'clock because of their lifestyles, particularly your age, to watch a programme. They will go to Twitter, they will go to Facebook, they will go to all these different kinds of places to get their news. So we've got the website, itv.com/calendar, and we have the, you'll get bored of me doing that, won't you? You've got bored of me.
The afternoon soon, actually.
Yeah. So we have to feed the beast as it is, but that's something that's probably good for you in that the internet is such a wonderful place in some respects because there are so many opportunities out there to get your work published, to get anything that you do, film-wise, written-wise, out there. And so we thought we'd try something because I am a dinosaur. I don't do Facebook, or at least I didn't do till
very recently.
A month and a half ago.
Yeah, he actually added me on Facebook and I nearly fell over in shock because Duncan does not do social media. He does Twitter because he has to.
Yeah.
Because we all have
Don't
to.
say that, don't
No,
say
but we have to, haven't we? We're all told to be on Twitter.
But we
he
have
suddenly
moved
appeared.
along. So because, briefly, and we're going to go live on Facebook now, okay? So if anybody wants to just get the phones out, if you've got any internet left or anything, or if you can get in here. What is it? Facebook.com/calendar news is what we're going to be live on. Facebook Lives are the in thing in media at the moment. Wherever you are, they are kind of the thing that you do. I did not know this until a couple of months ago when I was about to go out on a story to COS, which was the search for Ben Needham.
Do you know that story? Yeah, yeah.
He basically vanished 25 years ago, hasn't been seen since. Police have now said that they believe he's dead. They can't prove he's dead, they believe he's dead. I was on the island for 24 days. On the Friday Friday before I went out on a Sunday, somebody said, this is Facebook. You need to do Facebook Lives. I said, what are they? I don't know what they are. He went on my thing and said, Duncan, you've got no friends. I said, that's a bit harsh. said, there's 2 or 3 people I can rely on, but, you've got no friends. So he said, I'll be your friend. I thought, thanks, Umar, that's very kind of you. So he said, what you need to do, and this is me going onto Facebook. I've clicked on Facebook. I'll make you an administrator. I go to the bottom. I click on that. It says ITV calendar. I click on that. It says publish. I click on that.
It's teaching me because I haven't done one yet.
It says live video. I click on that. It goes, describe your live. Okay, what should I call it? What should we call it? Live. Describe
You're having a photo of your ear taken at the moment.
Describe your live. Where are we? Leeds. Hello. Leeds Trinity. Joya. I'm rubbish at typing. Be with you shortly. Journalism Week.
See, this is all.
Right.
I basically have no idea what he's doing, but I've got
so
to
you've
learn.
Got to describe your live.
Guru.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what this all relies on, of course, is internet. Can't start live thing because there's no internet. Okay. We may come back to this, but basically what I did was, over the next 24 days, 1.5 million people watched what I did on Facebook. Now, I don't know how that happens or what that is, but apparently that's quite good. So I did about 30 Facebook Lives over 24 days, giving briefings of what the policeman was saying every morning, because people like Sky and the BBC weren't there to get their things on 24-hour rolling news. So we were actually the only people who were doing it live. So people made an appointment to view at 7 o'clock in the morning, one of the better times of the day to actually see things. That was the figures. And I couldn't believe it when somebody said that many people had watched. But that is kind of the future for part of our industry. And it gives instant access to events that are happening anywhere in the world, whether it's round the corner here in Horsforth or across in Cos. I'm going to try this one last time.
And this is new to us, really. We're still learning very much about this. Are you there?
No, carry on.
We're there. We're still learning about this. I mean, it took quite a while for me to adapt from, you know, thinking I've got a piece that I'm filming this morning, I'm going to work on it, I don't want anyone to know what I'm doing, this is my big exclusive, and I'm going to hang on to it till 6 o'clock tomorrow night, and no one's got to... But we don't do that anymore. We've now got to think, well, something is happening, it is our role.
Good morning, welcome to Calendar's Facebook page. We're live now in the Journalism Week, in the... Keep talking.
Oh, hello.
Keep talking. I'm here with Christine Talbot, who I present with on Calendar, of course. And this is Christine Talbot and me. We appear on the television at 6 o'clock.
I'm talking to the students, actually.
Should we see the students?
Mind,
We'll see the students.
yeah.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. You're live on Facebook on the ITV Calendar page. Give everybody a wave if you wouldn't mind. Give a bit of a cheer. Morning, everyone. Let's see who's still awake. You're awake in this corner. That's good. We've been talking for at least 10 minutes now, so I'm amazed they are all awake. There's a lady at the back there, second in, third row. She's got a suitcase. I don't know where she's going, but... So at the moment there are 60 people watching us live on Facebook. Anybody watching us in here? Has anybody managed to get any internet going? Because if you can, we can take some questions, either from here inside the lecture theatre. Kathy Blair, hi Duncan. Hi Kathy. That's Kathy Blair who's just said hi on the Facebook page. What we did was basically build an audience on our Facebook page. Look, if you're good... What's your name, sorry? Matthew. This is Matthew, everyone. Matthew's been coming round and filming my ear as part of... he's filming me, filming you, filming me, filming me. Dom Brown. Hi, Dom. Hi, Duncan, yeah. So is Dom in the room? Yeah, is Dom in the room? No, Dom's not in the room. Somebody outside called Dom is watching. So what we're doing, guys, just to let you know why we're doing this Facebook Live, we're showing the ways that the industry's moving on in the future. And we're here at Journalism Week at Leeds Trinity in Horsforth. Lots of students here who are all doing journalism courses and everything, yes? Or some people have just walked in and don't know why you're here, and there's a madman walking around who's very old and has a phone. Charlie Russell, morning, yeah, morning, Tony, hi, how you doing? I don't know whether you're in the room, but these people could be joining us from anywhere in the world and finding out what we're doing now.
So we're opening this lecture up now to anybody that's watching Facebook at the moment. Hello, everybody. Shall we ask if anyone's got any questions?
Yeah, I tell you what, ask any questions, and then I'll have to run to you because I'm the one with the microphone on the phone, so that everybody at home and wherever they're watching Facebook can actually hear your question. So the question is great. Oh, hang on. Internet's gone. I'm trying to reconnect. Wait a moment. Due to a wireless connection, your broadcast has been paused. Consider moving to find a better signal.
Maybe if you stand back and you go back to where you were, you'll have to just shout.
Now you see, this is all the new things that have to discover, because in seriousness, you've got to actually find whether you've got a proper internet signal, or, you know, I don't know what he's watching. I want to go and have a look.
What do you want to say in the comments?
Oh, we're back on. Apparently people have been saying we're using the government's official line on my TV. Thanks very much. Sorry about that break in transmission, folks. We have some internet problems here. Marie, hi, Duncan, hi, yeah. Johnny's mum cuts his hair.
Is that somebody that said that?
Oh, you see, that's it. That's it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to finish it now because it's cropped up again. But you get the idea of where the industry's going, and we can take the question. We'll just end the actual nonsense of the Facebook Live and apologise later.
So you are also at the mercy of technology, but this is it.
If you were to do your career again, would you do anything differently, or would you do the exact same as what you've done?
Good question. I'd probably do it the same again. I didn't say that I actually did get qualifications while I was starting out the paper, because they did pay for me to go to Darlington to do the NCTJ course, the 2-month block release at the time. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think
No
very
regrets.
hard. No.
Not a good idea to have regrets. So it was a good path for me at the time, and a good path for us. It was one that was there, and it was, you know, there weren't media courses.
I mean, they say, don't they, you never do a day's work in your life if you do a job that you love, and I honestly think that both of us could say that. You know, it's the. I feel that we've been very lucky. I think it's more difficult now, probably in the industry, to get permanent work, to get well-paid work, but it certainly is a job that will make you happy and fulfilled, and that you will enjoy. Every day is different, and I don't think there are many jobs that you could say that you never quite know what's going to happen next. You meet so many interesting people and do things that other people don't get the opportunity to do. So yes, I think I don't regret any of it.
No, I mean, people, you know, the thing is, you meet people, you talk to. If you're a people person, it's a fantastic job because you meet so many different people, and we don't start with a clean bit of paper every day. Obviously, things are planned and stuff, but. And people say, oh, you're sitting in a studio now, you know, do you not want to be on the road and things like that, and going out and finding stories. We get the chance to do that. We get the chance to do our journalistic as well as our presentation work. So there's plenty going on.
So that time with COS, was that something that you jumped at the chance to go to COS and report to them immediately?
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is, the full credit for what we do with the Ben Needham story and going to COS is a producer called Mark Whitty, who's kept with this story for years and years and years. And he's built the links with the family that means that he can go and we can go and do these kind of things. And I've been linked to it for about 5 years now in a direct sense. So, yeah, we didn't know we were going to stay for 24 days. That's another part of the job. You don't know what's going to come around the next corner. We thought we were staying for a week. We stayed for 24 days. You know, I had to wash my smalls 3 times and put them on the balcony. You probably didn't need to know that. So we just stay. We had 3 trips booked back. We were on a ferry to Athens from Kos for 12 hours, but then we had to ditch that. We were coming back via Athens flying, we had to ditch that. We came back through Brussels. All those kind of things have to be taken into account. By the end, when you're flying home from Brussels, you think, oh no, but actually it sounds quite exciting, and it is. You were there because the rest of the people can't be there. You are there as an eyewitness for them. So you are able to tell the story to them. And being able to do that is a fantastic thing. Meeting different people is great too.
It is, and even on the more mundane days, because not every day is you know, exciting and fun and
like this.
Yeah, this is a highlight of our week.
That's what I said. Not every day is as exciting as this.
Exactly. But even on those days, there's always something new around the corner, and you never really know what's going to happen in the next hour. We can go in, and I'll sit down and say I'm on the late shift, and I say, oh, there's nothing happened, a bit boring today. But 5 minutes to on air, all heck breaks loose. Heck, I said.
Well done.
Yeah, all heck breaks loose, and everything's a mass kick bollock scramble. Sorry,
said
I couldn't help myself. I said bollock, but it is, we love that. Oh gosh, YouTube. We love it. It's so exciting. We thrive on live television, and you know, you really couldn't be in a better world. We absolutely wouldn't do anything else.
I love recorded programmes, but live telly is a phenomenal thing to do, and it's great, and it's nervous, and it's excitement, and it's full on. It's a great adrenaline rush. Any more questions while we're in here before we go to the thing? Yeah.
Is anything gone majorly wrong when you do it?
This morning when I walk out here and do all things go wrong all the time.
Yeah. All the time.
All the time. I said good night on the lunchtime news yesterday. There's one thing. Got to the end of it, was running out of time, was trying to be a smart arse, and was clever with my out cue and said good night at 5 to 2 in the afternoon. Look back at it, that's good. You know, funny things happen. They do go wrong. Thankfully, nothing goes spectacularly wrong on a regular basis.
And we try and actually, if we can, make a joke of it, if we can. I mean, it depends on, obviously, if you're doing a very serious story, you know, you just got to let it go. But we don't act, you know, the days of where everything had to look absolutely perfect are gone. And you see, say, Holly and Phil on this morning, they spent half their time cracking up over some stupid thing that's happened. And I think now people expect that. They don't expect you to be acting as if, oh, but po-faced newsreader, better act like nothing's happened. You know, you actually acknowledge it.
A few weeks ago, end piece in the programme supposed to be 3.5 minutes long. Get into it, someone says it's a minute long. That means, if you do maths, 2.5 minutes to fill at the end. Nothing to go to, we're at the end of the programme, no more reports to come. So right, so they go, off you go then.
And they just literally do say,
You can't sit there, you can't just get your coffee and go, right, I'm off now. Cheers. Take the test card. You've got to come up with something for 2.5 minutes.
And that's where what we were paid to do, really. I mean, it is quite terrifying. It doesn't happen that often, but
it happened. You weren't
happens. There. But it happened to me with John Shires. Remember with that weather
Oh
stink?
yeah, when the weather went on.
I had 2 minutes to fill with John Shires, and I waffled on. I can't even watch it. I don't even want to ever see it. But it's in the archives, and it's just waffle, and I'm just almost hysterical. My voice is going more and more high pitched.
But the thing is, I mean, what I did was try to rabbit on about something. It was so painful and excruciating. I says, you've probably guessed by now. It's all gone wrong.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be 3 minutes. It was a minute. What should we talk about? And we just, you know, you just put your hands up in those kind of situations. And just try and get
It's the
through and
best
have a
way
laugh.
to deal with it.
Do you love those situations?
Great, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, not every day.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's thankfully, hopefully, we've been on the telly for a long time. So you don't get completely fazed by that. You get fazed by certain things, but you don't get completely fazed by that because you can just say, what are we having for your tea?
Yeah.
And, you know, like we had 48 seconds to fill last night at the end after the last item. So we rabbited on about this fella who, don't know whether you've seen it on the internet, he did this big bungee jump and dunked his biscuit into the tea. He's from Sheffield, so we had that. It was great. You want to watch him, honestly, it's fantastic.
So we got it. We showed it again in slow motion.
So we showed it again in slow motion because it was there.
Very slow.
Oh,
motion.
look, there it is again. And then, oh, well, what do you think? Is there any other biscuits? Oh, what's the best biscuits? Other biscuits are
What kind of biscuit do you think that was?
Well, I think that was a chocolate hobnob. Do you really?
Yeah, well, that might
and
melt.
you see the tea he wasted when he dropped that in and all of it splashed out the side of the cup? I can't believe he wasted all that tea.
And then we said, oh, by the way, we're going to the Yorkshire Young Achiever Awards
By the way,
tonight.
we're doing the Yorkshire Young Achievers tonight. That'll be fun.
And that was our ad lib for 48
And
seconds.
here's John with the weather. You know, I mean, it's just, you know,
Yeah.
it's good fun. The punters at home kind of like it when we're doing that. It's better. It's a better programme, I think, about what we do. Other programmes are different, but Calendar's a news magazine programme that by the end of the programme, you want a bit of a laugh, you want a bit of a cheering up, you want a bit of a giggle, and you want to be entertained a bit. So you have to do the balance between what is a terrible story at the moment, the Joe Cox murder trial in London at the beginning, and then the man dunking his biscuit in after a bungee jump. So those are the two extremes that we're going from in the programme, and we'll see in the bulletin that we do in the studio that there's extremes in the bulletin. So, you know, you have to be able to pace yourself and do it.
Yeah.
As a presenter, you have to be able to be aware of those situations.
And it's different really from the national news. The national news does tend to stay quite straight-faced
Has to, yeah.
all the way through. Even on the funny stories, they'll do a sort of wry little smile or something, whereas Calendar particularly has got a history of being a little bit more slapdash at times and being a bit... The history from the old days, when people first started, way before your time, but when people would watch Calendar in this region, there was a presenter called Austin Mitchell, there was Richard Whiteley, and they always did rather daft things. Now, not everybody likes that. It's not to everybody's taste, and I think now we've got a better balance.
Yeah.
And but we still do have that slightly jokey relationship that the national news don't.
Yeah. We've moved on. My classic, which gets quoted back to me a lot of the time, is that I one day came up with the idea of putting the weatherman in a box. Because the item before it was about a magician who was an escapologist, and he was in Briggate in Leeds, and he was covered in chains rather. And so I thought, it'd be a good idea if we come to the weather off the back of that. We start off with the weatherman in a box. And so on set we had this massive cardboard box. We got one of the PAs to go out and get paint from across the road and painted stars and suns and rain on it. And he was in the box. And we just talked about it, and then he just burst out with the box, Jack-in-the-Box style. And it was the most ludicrous, ridiculous thing that's been on the calendar for a long, long time. And it shouldn't have happened.
Oh, we've done a lot of dressing up, haven't we?
It was one of those things we started at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, well, somebody will stop me at some point. Somebody's going to stop me.
But they all thought it was a great idea.
And it happened, and that's when people started to think it had to be more serious.
But we've done that, I mean, over the years, and we would never do this now, but we've done a lot of dressing up. We've dressed in all sorts of outfits, and we've done...
I particularly like the traffic warden.
I was dressed as a traffic warden on air once. We were in bed together with me with rollers in, with John Mitchell, the weatherman, all sitting there with presenting the news. That sort of thing is different now, because ITV are now owners. So they have much more of a say in how we look, and their look is much more of a branded, more serious look, which you're probably thinking, thank goodness for that.
Yeah, but it was a bizarre one. Any more questions, or should we go through at the studio? Or any more questions? Yeah.
Do you think you've reached the pinnacle of
your
your careers?
Oh yes. Being here at Leeds Trinity is a pinnacle. But no, I mean, the good thing is that if you're a journalist and you love this industry, you will always strive to do better. You will always strive to do the bigger one. And if you look on my Twitter, which is, what's my Twitter? @DuncanWoodITV. My Twitter says, been a journalist for 35 years, still looking for the big one.
I think in the last few years, both Duncan and I have actually done some of the most exciting stories for a long time. I mean, Duncan had the COS stuff. That's a real big story, and it's ongoing. I mean, I went to Calais last year. We've done lots of big exclusive interviews over the last few years. We never really tire of it or ever think, oh well, I'll just wind down a little bit now. I think we're always both still thinking, what's next, you know? So.
And from a purely personal point of view, I did 7 years at GMTV, which was the GMB before Daybreak and everything like that. So I did 7 years as a network correspondent and went everywhere all over the world. But I burnt out, and I needed to get my balance of my life back because I couldn't keep doing that. There's a guy there called Richard Gaisford. You might see him on some mornings. He joined when I was already there. He's their chief senior correspondent now. He's been in America doing everything. Richard came then. He's been there something like 17 years, 16, 17 years, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and travelling around the world. It suits him. He's got a family, but it suits him. Didn't suit me in the end after 7 years. So I'm not, if you're thinking, what would I want to go on to? I've done that, but realised there's more to life than 3 hotels a week, etc. Suitcase. So I'm very, very happy where I am. Very lucky to be working with Christine because, no, truthfully, because she's a fantastic journalist and we get on really well. And so, not the pinnacle, but we'll keep striving for it, and we'll keep.
I think we're both quite ambitious for the programme. We both want calendar. We win a lot of awards. We've done very, very well on awards over the last few years, and that makes us very proud. To head a programme with such a great team, and we are lucky because we work in it's a happy newsroom.
Happy.
Good fun, but they're very good journalists. So if you want to come get a job, it's a good place to work.
Yeah, it is. We've got lots of people from Leeds Trinity in there.
We have actually, yeah.
They've come and joined
Who are
us.
very good, very good. Yeah.
Any other questions before we go next door into the studio? Shout up if you want to. Yes.
Sorry, just last night the Grand Tour premiered on Amazon Prime.
Sorry.
Last night the Grand Tour premiered on Amazon Prime, so it's been quite a shift lately from programs on TV to programs
on the internet.
There's been
who knows which ways it's going to go. I mean, we can get indications of what's going to appear where and how the industry will change. But I mean, even the top guy at ITV in charge of news, there's a piece of kit called Live View, which is basically a rucksack style thing with 7 SIM cards in, done by Telephone 4G. I took one of those to cost. We broadcast live back here on that. He wrote to me and said, is this a good bit of kit? Should I be investing in it next year? I'm going to buy a lot more for the ITV regions. And I said to him, well, that sounds good, worked for me, but what's the next thing? And that's going to be the thing that nobody really knows at the moment. What's going to make it easier to tell stories? And on what platforms? And nobody really knows that, but yes, I think, you look at the 24-hour news channels, you look at Sky News and look at the BBC, Sky gets less viewers internationally worldwide than we do at 6 o'clock every night. We get 3 times as many viewers as Sky watching calendar in Yorkshire than Sky does anywhere. So there is an audience for them, but I think it's going to become, I don't know, more pared down.
Well, they are paring it down, aren't they,
but
in terms of budget?
You'll be able to get your message across out everywhere. So it'll be a difference with the technology that comes in to the way that you tell the stories and the platforms they go on to. Can't see it being a big, here's an online rolling whatever. There isn't. They're out there now.
There are, aren't there? Yeah.
But will there be more? I'm not sure.
In a sense, the Facebook thing is a step towards that, isn't it? You know, it's available all the time. You can do anything on it at any time. And I know my daughter, who's 18, nearly 19, she doesn't watch television news. I don't know if you probably do because you're wanting to go into that world, but she watches everything on a laptop. She gets her news from Twitter. Would you say that's pretty much what you do? Or, I mean, you probably don't, but your friends who are not in journalism, do they sit down and watch the regional news at 6 o'clock? No, probably not.
I mean,
yeah,
don't worry if you don't. It's not a problem because we realise that our demographic is, plus 40, plus 50. We try to bring everybody in. We want to do stories and produce and present the news in a way that will appeal to your age group as well. But we realise that the world is moving on. We have to move on in various parts of it. But we realise that nobody's going to sit down for half an hour of your age group and watch a telly programme as well.
So that's why Calendar and Yorkshire and ITV Yorkshire is expanding into all these other areas. Yeah. And the way forward.
But telly's still
hopefully they'll take us with it.
So shall we go and do some telly?
Yeah, let's go do some telly.
And this is where half
Thank
of you
you
just quietly sit at the back and then do what good.
So, this is a television studio. This is the master class.
Come on in, just pile on in, guys. Plenty of room round the front-ish, down the sides.
This is your most essential piece of kit when you go on telly. A powder
Makeup.
puff.
Christine takes a makeup bag everywhere.
I sit there and I do this, and then I might do Duncan as
and
well.
then I don't do any of it. One thing that has, probably hampered our careers to a great extent is HD.
Oh God.
We don't like HD.
We don't like HD.
So,
the older you get, you hate HD.
So basically, we're just going to run through a bulletin and show you what kind of things. I mean, are you all familiar with the studio? If you've been in here before, you know what happens in here. These are cameras. These are earpieces. We have our own moulded ones, so that we don't have to put.
I'm getting all tangled up.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Anyway, carry on, Duncan.
Okay,
I'll
good.
just, yeah.
So, basically, thankfully, we have our moulded ones. This is my old one, which I found because I don't know where my other one is. So, yeah, talkback is an essential part of what we do. And just on basics of television, you will see, and I'm not going to name names, okay? The dark side. Okay. On the dark side, if you watch a certain weatherman on the dark side,
Yes.
I hate it. And I do slap him about the head whenever I see him. It's thanks, Gary. Do
you want to use our earpiece?
No, I'll lose that bit.
Okay.
Thank you. If you watch him doing his weather, he will have this bit all down the back of his shirt, all hanging out. You see the bit on the back, and you see, don't do that. Telly's magic. Telly's magic, and that means that nobody knows that anybody's in your ear. and talking to you. So you hide that under your jacket, except it's not that long, but we'll hide it under the jacket.
I forgot my earpieces. I'm very disorganised, I'm afraid.
And clips onto the back. So basically, thank you, Kathy. That's all part of the illusion. Telly is a magic. It really is. So you have to create the illusion that you know what you're doing. And we had two groups of two schools in yesterday to calendar. It was an open newsroom day, and they were kind of going, "Oh, obviously you're only doing yourselves." We go, "Oh, telly's magic. Telly's fun, and it should be that way." And so when you've got an autocue, you don't want anybody to think that you're reading the autocue. You want to just make sure that you think that you can remember, and you've got this fantastic memory. So you probably can't see it, but you'll be able to see it later. The size of the autocue is very important.
Yeah. You don't want your eyes to be going left and right like you're obviously reading.
This is a good size, but if you have the font too small, if ever you come in here and you're doing your programs or anything like that, make it as big as you can, because you can read one block. If you've got small letters on it, your eyes go along, and people at home and people who are watching know that you're reading. And that's, again, magic of telly. You're not supposed to be seeing people reading out loud. Well, that's what I do for a living.
One thing, I mean, always, you know, I must admit, Duncan and I are a bit guilty of not doing this, but you should read your scripts beforehand. I mean,
we always read our scripts. You know that.
We do, but there are times when someone's in my ear now. Who's that?
Who's in our ear?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hello, Mark. How are you? Nice to hear you.
Sometimes we do have to literally go on air and see it for the first time as we're reading it, or stories are breaking, or we're literally rushing round to the last minute. And you just got to kind of cover that up. Obviously, you don't want to go on air looking flustered, but ideally, one of the things is to be prepared and to know the story. So if the story goes down and the VT's not there and you need to do an interview about it, you need to be well briefed on it, really. So that's really what we're wearing in the day. We're trying to get on top of everything, make sure we know what might happen, what might go wrong, what we need to know should the VT go down. And
I always think as well, as Chrissy says, planning and preparation and knowing what's there. I usually keep 3 stories ahead. So I'll always know if that one goes, oh, right, I know what the next one is. So I'm not going to be caught out by going, oh my God, what's the next one? And if the autocue goes down, I know I can just go, right, the next one is, and away you go. Because you need, preparation's half the thing, more than half the thing. And if you know what the story is and you know what you're talking about, even if you lose your script and you lose the autocue and you lose the tape, you'll still be able to talk to the viewer. You'll still be able to say something that will make sense, hopefully, and get yourself to a position where you're then comfortable to carry on when everybody else who's going crazy in your ear, like Mark, will, have calmed down
He's
by
been very
then
nice and quiet.
and stopped shouting and swearing. Not that you would do that, Mark. I understand that fully. There's no swearing to be done. Absolutely.
so, floor manager.
Hi, Kathy. What are we going to do today?
So we'll just do a little run through, if you can show everyone how it's done.
Without having, no, we actually haven't read the scripts.
We'll start off with the opening titles and then into the first script.
So am I on camera 1, Duncan 3, and wide 2 shot?
Oh, is it written on?
You will normally, but we'll start off on 2.
On 2,
Have you
right.
got a pen?
On 2 shot.
I haven't got a pen, actually.
No, I haven't got a pen on.
Yeah, normally
got a
we
pen?
try and mark up our scripts so we know roughly what the plan is for the programme.
Journalists without pens. Excellent. Good
Hang on,
idea.
So,
If there's cheers, mate. Thank you.
so it's all to camera 2, is it?
Which one are you? Are you going to be anchor 1 or anchor 2?
I
I'm
don't
the biggest
mind.
anchor, so what do you want to be?
Camera 2 just for the opening, because that's
I'm
on
anchor
2
1.
shot.
You'll be anchor 1?
Yes.
Christine's going to be anchor 1.
Yes, so I'm anchor 1, right.
No, I've done it so that you're...
Oh,
I'm anchor 1.
excuse me, what kind of... We always sit like this.
I'm anchor 1.
So you're 1?
2.
Yeah. Oh, I see, yeah, camera 2.
And that's 2.
Oh, look, it says anchor 1 again.
It does. Oh.
Oh, there's the anchor 2.
Oh, shut up. Kathy, you made a big mistake here, making him number 1.
Oh, I just got on the next page because it says anchor 1 again.
He snuck in really quickly.
Oh,
That's good. That's
right.
excellent. Who's on the next page?
so that's all
Anchor
on.
2.
Yeah, that's on the slide.
That right, yeah.
It's camera 1.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And, oh, that's it.
3, D,
That's on and
slide.
slide, and that's back to camera again.
That's camera D on 3, yeah. Duncan on 3, yeah.
So if you're on camera 2.
Oh, 2, yeah. Yeah,
There's 2 then.
okay.
That's a clip,
Yeah,
and then presenter 2 on...
Which is poor little me. And 1. Okay. That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
These are kind of essential
So there's
things
no
that you have to do. You have to
Yes,
put,
okay.
you know, the floor manager will normally have done this in big letters.
Yeah, we don't normally have to do this
We don't know
ourselves,
how to do
Kathy.
this, you know. But it is
Bless you.
Old school.
big
It
and, big
is,
and
yeah.
bold, and make sure you know what you're going to do, and make sure you know which cameras are which, because normally, you see, in our studio at Calendar, we go 1, 2, 3. And here it's 1, 2, 3. So we'll look for us going that camera, right, we'll look at that one. When they say
Yeah, we're
camera
gonna be
1,
going the
we'll go
wrong-
that one.
wrong
we'll go
way.
3, we'll go that one. Anyway, we'll have fun. Am I at the right height here? Another great thing, you've got to work out who's sitting in what chair and how high they are.
We hate, you know, this is a secret, but we hate our new set, don't we?
Yeah, it's
You
good.
don't know.
Is that all right?
You like your eyes over the top. Only because the desk is at such a weird level that we kind of have our knees.
This is a
above
good
the
desk. This is
and
a good desk.
You might, if you ever watch me on it, I've always got my scripts in case anyone sees my legs.
Yes, legs. That's good
like
that you
them.
said that. Legs.
That's our secret, anyway. Okay.
So we're going to have a go. We're going to have a run through. Then some other people are going to have a go, and we'll just give you an idea of how we do things and the tone that we use as we do the stories which we haven't read.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so we'll stand by for opening titles.
Okay, I'm standing by.
Okay.
Look at one.
We always do that.
It's our little thing every night. Superstition. Oh, we're on.
Titles are rolling. Mics are open.
Hello, a very warm welcome to Yorkshire Voice, which today focuses on an event that's attracted some of the key figures in journalism to Leeds.
Yes, we're here at Leeds Trinity University, and each year they host Journalism Week with a range of speakers from across the industry, each passing on their thoughts and advice to tomorrow's reporters, producers, directors and production staff.
Now, later in the programme, we'll be meeting 3 of the main speakers this week, including Tom Ball, who's one of the country's leading investigative journalists and published over 20 books. He told a packed audience on Monday that scepticism has led him to where he is today.
Yes, and Tom will be telling us more about some of those he's targeted, including Richard Branson, Bernie Ecclestone and Gordon Brown.
So we'll be hearing from 2... if the floor manager's standing in front of camera 3, I can't go to camera 3. Go back and walk the queue a bit. It's working, it's working. This is good, you see. It was your fault as well, Matt. You were in front of camera 3. You seem to be a lot in the way today, mate. I'm just saying.
He was taking a special picture.
Okay. And we'll be hearing from 2 of Leeds Trinity's recent broadcast journalism graduates, Charlotte Swift and Karen Liu. They'll be telling us how they got their jobs even before they graduated. Is it me again? And we'll also speak to Jules Matson, a freelance journalist at ITN.
But first...
Clip.
Oh, God, I didn't think you could tell me if I looked at these scripts.
This is a perfect example
If
of
you've
why you should prepare
done
your script.
the work at an early stage to create a body of work for yourself, if you are, while you're studying, writing up stories in the student press, pitching stories to local outlets, filing FOI requests, making things, then when you graduate, you're in a good position in that you have a portfolio of work. You can go to people and say, you know, this is me, and you probably will have established some relationships along the way.
Well, we'll have more tips from Jules still to come, but first today, the main news, which is dominated by rubbishers, aren't we? The tragic house fire in Leeds early this morning in which 3 children died. Chris Kiddie reports from the scene. And that was classic of what
Nicely
not to
recovered.
do.
Maybe there, I feel.
I
Only
think
3
we could
children
probably do
died.
that in a much better way. There were
Okay.
so many things.
So that's the rehearsal.
Now, that is to show you what not to do.
That's not the way to do it.
Don't do any of
Okay.
that.
So
One, we were looking at the wrong cameras.
if Matthew keeps out the way of camera 3,
Yes,
we'll be all right.
yeah.
And we're going to go from the top one more time.
And we're going to do it properly. And I'm
We're
not
gonna
going
do
to
it
laugh
properly.
and joke through a link about
3
who
people
dead in a
died.
fire.
Ad lib chat.
Ad-lib chat.
Ad-lib chat.
Where's that? Ad-lib.
Oh,
She's
I
written an
see,
ad-lib
right.
chat in the first bit, you see.
Okay, right.
Okay, ad-lib chat.
Make something up.
Okay, that means
Right.
make something up.
Yes, okay.
30-second ad-lib
Oh,
chat.
my word, okay. Right, I think we now know what we're doing. I think.
Then we're on 3, then we're on 1.
2.
Then we're on 3, then we're on 2. And then
3, yeah.
Right, good. Going to get it right this time, folks,
3.
okay?
1. Yeah, oh, there's a slide there. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm on top of it, I think.
Are you ready?
Yep.
We're going to cock it up again, aren't we?
Here we are. You see, the thing is, when we do calendar, we're so used to kind of what is coming next and what and how it works that we
go into a routine.
We just kind of walk in and we'll know what to do, and we've forgotten that you do need to prepare.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We're prepared now. We're very
are now,
professional.
yes.
We're prepared. And calm. Yeah, love it. Rock and roll. Didn't work the last time.
No, it didn't.
So I'm first.
Yeah.
Hello, very warm welcome to Yorkshire Voice, which today focuses on an event that's attracted some of the key figures in journalism to Leeds.
Yes, we're here at Leeds Trinity University, and each year they host Journalism Week with a range of speakers from across the industry, each passing on their thoughts and advice to tomorrow's reporters, producers, directors and production staff.
Do you know what? I don't know what they'll learn for us, but I understand that Gerard Tubb was here yesterday from Sky News, their North of England
Not
correspondent.
Gerard Tubb, the
I used
Gerard
to,
Tubb.
The Gerard Tubb. I used to work with him, of course, about 30 years ago.
Did you walk several
at
paces
20s.
behind him?
I obviously do, because Gerard is fantastic and he's an amazing
Yes,
man, a
yes.
lovely person.
Well, I also see that Phil Hay from the Yorkshire Evening Post was here just before us.
Unbelievable.
We are walking in hallowed shoes today.
Exactly.
Duncan.
Richard Conway's here this afternoon. Don't ask him why he didn't go to the Olympics.
Oh.
Okay, later in the programme we'll be meeting 3 of the main speakers this week, including Tom Bauer, who's one of the country's leading investigative journalists and has published over 20 books. He told a packed audience on Monday the scepticism has led him to where he is today.
Yes, and Tom will be telling us more about some of those that he's targeted, including Richard Branson, Bernie Ecclestone and Gordon Brown.
And we'll be hearing from 2 of Leeds Trinity's recent broadcast journalism graduates, Charlotte Swift and Karen Lou. They'll be telling us how they got their first jobs before they even graduated. And we'll also speak to Jules Matson, a freelance journalist at ITN.
If you've done the work at an early stage to create a body of work for yourself, if you are, while you're studying, writing up stories in the student press, pitching stories to local outlets, filing FOI requests, making things, then when you graduate, you're in a good position in that you have a portfolio of work. You can go to people and say, you know, this is me, and you probably will have established some relationships along the way.
Yes, we'll have more tips from Jules still to come. But first today to the main news, which is dominated by the tragic house fire in Leeds early this morning, in which 3 children died. Chris Kiddie reports from the scene.
That was better, wasn't it? That was
We like to show you what not to do.
No, don't. And Gerard Tubb is a lovely man. Anybody saw his news bit yesterday? A lovely man.
Yeah, he is. Lovely man.
Don't ask Richard Conway why he
That's
did what.
just part of a little program just to show you, the end bit was just to show you the change in tone that you need to take from, you know, happy, chatty bits to turning to a serious story, and how you can do that through the presenters, obviously. So would you like to take on board a couple of
Yes,
volunteers?
come on, who wants to have a go? One victim straight away over here. Oh, another victim as well straight away over here.
Great stuff. So,
Right, well, we'll get out the chairs. You can get in the chairs.
who wants to sit in my chair?
Right, let's...
Can you manage it? With your... Now, let me see. Now, I wear this in... This is a right-hand one, I think, so you might need it in there. Lift up your...
Right.
You
So,
need to get it. So,
there we go.
no, this is...
So it's it looks like
That's right. Does that feel like it's in your ear?
it might be a left one, it's a right
I would
one.
just hold it in
Sure,
like that.
check which ear it goes in.
I'll clip it onto the back just so it doesn't fall off.
in like that.
Goes over the top of your ear. Yeah, that's
There you
it.
go.
Let
Is that
me see.
comfortable?
There we go.
Yeah, and you
Right,
need to
it's
put
over
this on
No, it's not.
somehow.
It's
Just
over
clip it onto your front or your...
Right, so you move it over your ear like that,
Yeah,
and then I'll let you push it in because you want to push it
into
into your palm. It just takes a bit of doing.
Otherwise, I've got your jumper.
It is. That comes over the top of your ear. Now let you just push that in. Yeah, no, it should just...
Is it that one?
Yeah,
That thing?
that's it.
There you go.
There you go.
That's it. You're in. Right, you sit down, and we'll... Just put this round the back.
Jamie, it's okay.
And what am I supposed to read? So you're presenter 2. Right.
Okay, so you're presenter 1, which is great.
Starting off with the titles.
Excellent.
Okay.
Let's get the microphone on. Just stick it up with your jumper.
Yes, I know.
What year
I should do this. I did this earlier on Monday.
Yeah.
Good.
First year, so I got ear. There's people talking in my ears.
That'll do.
What's your
advice to these two about
Right, now let's see.
Well, I think the thing is, as you saw from Duncan and I's
Would help it was like
rubbish
stapled.
first one, you've got to be
No,
prepared.
you
So
don't-
just
you
kind
don't
of make sure you
want
know
them
what
That's the
cameras
last thing
you're
you want
on,
them
have
stapled.
read through the script, be aware of the
Because
changes
easily
of
get-
tone.
Oh, I see.
As long as
Oh, I
it's
see.
prepared, they'll
In
be
case the
okay.
thing goes down,
It
like you
looks
said
an
earlier.
exaggerated turn. If you were to turn something over, then let me just check it out.
Just in case it goes down, as well, it gaps us quicker.
Right, so what I'm supposed to read is...
Kathy, which order are we in? Because I've just got the one
Yeah,
on
you've got my scripts
Right.
written on.
Should be.
You're presenter 1.
I'm 2.
One.
2.
You're presenter 2. Oh, right, yes.
Don't worry, we'll get the
So
right
that means you're on camera 2. I just put that there, right, which is the middle one. So that whole
I've done presenting before.
You've
so
done it.
That's
you're
it
fine.
there.
So
Well, I got the
you.
first one there.
That's the first one.
Zoha Shah. Zoha.
I'll put Z. Yes. What's your friend's name?
I'm not sure. He's not on my
Well, I'll put
class.
that there so you see it. So you just keep looking at ad lib a bit there.
This is
have to
mine.
relax.
Camera 1.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Jack.
Jack. Just going to relax, Jack.
Yes, Jack is doing that bit, and you're doing that bit.
Right.
Camera 1, so that's it.
Can this go towards my TV module?
That's Jack.
Go
I've
towards
got
the
to
TV
do
journalist module. This.
this way. Does it make sense to you?
Got there now,
That's
you
all
don't need that
presenting
One. Okay, that's not
I
mine.
need that.
Then there's
I've
little
scribbled on it,
little
so you
film,
are
and then it's
DW,
you.
wherever DW
And that's
is.
wrong.
Which
You're
is
on
you?
camera 2.
So
Right.
have a look through, make sure you're confident with your pieces, which is the presenter
That's where
one
you
bit.
change your tone a little bit
So you're
there
on
because
top
that's
bit.
a more
This is mine.
serious story. You're going to be reading that to the middle camera. But obviously that's quite a
Written the
serious story,
cameras
so
on
it's
there,
going
which
to
is
smile a
three.
little bit, smile at the top,
Which is that
and then you
one.
change to a more
Main
serious
camera's 2.
tone.
Right.
Okay.
3. You've got to watch Kathy for that because she's the floor manager, so she will follow you to the cameras.
Yeah, I know. We did this on Monday.
So, and then you're
Where are
back
you?
on
Can you
3.
make my video?
And then change in the middle.
Can you make my video?
Yeah, well, I'll get one of them. Does someone mind
Still you.
We did
You have to turn from 3 to 2. And a good way of doing that is maybe looking down at the script and looking up again. So if you look at your camera 3 from the beginning and you go, we'll be hearing from 2 leads,
graduates,
Charlotte
and
Swift,
then up there.
then just basically when you've said even graduated to that one, you just look back down the script and look up again.
So when you say graduate, look down and back up again.
So you go dead in the graduates, you look down.
But
Okay, let's have a bash. Should we have a bash?
Right, I want this in order.
Yeah. Killer underscore Z 197 underscore Z 197.
I wish you could be like reply back to him. It's like somebody reply back.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Oh my god, this is not in order.
You alright?
Is that in order?
That's the first one.
Is that the second one?
Yeah, I think so. We have them in order. Are we not, have you taken them out of order?
I haven't taken them out of order, I'm just confused.
It's alright, don't worry. We don't have to worry about them. We don't have to worry about them. There's one at the bottom though.
That's my fault, I think.
sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
That's
Ah, yes, it's that, the package.
right, that's right, that goes
That's the first one.
that goes with that. There you go.
There you go.
So you've got it. Yeah. That's the last one, isn't it?
Am I supposed to say my name?
No.
No? Okay, no.
No, we just start with. Jack will say that.
And I'll say
You're
that.
gonna say that. Yeah.
Right.
Jamie, I could do this with my what's underneath my thing. I couldn't do it.
How many of you think futures in television are? What do you think? Who's going to go for print? Who's going to go for print? Who's still thinking that print is something that you want to do?
That's in camera 2.
Is still a future of print?
Central one to camera 3.
And then obviously the online then comes with the print. Anybody really thinking television? Just start, Kathy, am I being in the way?
Sorry?
You start.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right, everyone ready to go?
Camera.
Okay, we're ready to roll. Wait for the titles. Titles in 5.
Nice and smiley in the beginning. So happy to be here. It's Journalism Week.
So that knowledge is true, is it?
Go on.
Friday.
Just look at each other. Look there.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Yorkshire Voice, which today focuses on an event that's attracted some of the key figures in journalism to Leeds.
Yes, we're here at Leeds Trinity University, and each year they host Journalism Week with a range of speakers from across the industry, each passing on their thoughts and advice to tomorrow's reporters, producers, directors and production staff.
Well, later on the programme, we'll be meeting 3 of the main speakers this week, including Tom Bauer, who's one of the country's leading investigative journalists and has published over 20 books. He told a packed audience on Monday that scepticism has led him to where he is today.
And yes, Tom will be telling us more about some of those he's targeted, including Richard Branson, Bernie Electron and Gordon Brown.
And we'll be hearing from 2 of Leeds Trinity's recently broadcast journalism graduates, Charlotte Swift and Karen Lou. They'll be telling us how they got their first jobs before they graduated.
And we'll also speak to Jules Matson, a freelance journalist at ITN.
If you've done the work at an early stage to create a body of work for yourself, if you are, while you're studying, writing up stories in the student press, pitching stories to local outlets, filing FOI requests, making things, then when you graduate, you're in a good position in that you have a portfolio of work. You can go to people and say, you know, this is me, and you probably will have established some relationships along the way.
Yes, more tips from Jules still to come. But first today to the main news, which is domained by the Target House fire leads early in the morning, in which three children died. Chris Kidney reports from the scene.
Well done, Excellent. Great. Really well.
For a first time doing that was incredible. It really was.
Really
It's quite.
good.
I mean, you saw the mess we made of it at first, and you were brilliant. You very much got to grips with that, and it would just take a few more runs through till you were comfortable
Yeah,
with
like
it.
we did on Monday.
Because at the beginning I thought, you're going to read all of it from the paper? But to have confidence that somebody, it is a big deal actually. I know not just today, but on television generally, it's a big deal to have trust and confidence in whoever's rolling that altar cue. Because if they fall asleep in the middle,
Which they do.
which happens often, then you then have to be ready to go to your script, because you've got to be aware that's what may happen. Or the computer might just stall or crash or something like that, and it can just vanish. I was glad you got on the auto cue. Well done. That was really, really good.
It was. You spoke clearly, and you really sort of. That's the thing. Is to project really, and to project yourself. You sat up straight. You projected clearly, and I mean you've got to also always check pronunciations before, if you can, of words and names. But obviously you were prepared to have to do that. But normally you would be. You'd be right onto it. So.
I will forever now call Mr. Chris Kidney Mr. Chris Kidney.
I'm so sorry.
I like Chris Kidney's good name.
Kidney is a good name. Have we got time for some other people
Yes,
coming
we
on?
have time for maybe some broadcasters. Yeah.
Go for it. Good. Well done, guys. Really good.
Well done.
Pictures, hopefully. Yeah, thank you. I'm kind of stuck. Thank you. Thank you.
You just need to get rid of
Yeah,
the piece
I
out.
did.
Yeah, you've done it already. Oh, well done. Here you go. So you're a print journalist, are you?
No, I'm a magazine journalist.
Magazine? Fantastic. I always thought that as well.
don't really need any wet wipes.
Right, now you've done this before.
Have you done this before? So, that loops over the top of your lug, and then push it in, not too hard obviously. Just make sure that, let me just move it over the top. Sam. Okay, I'm just going to clip this on the back of your...
Wow, the studio lights are so warm. So hot.
Right. Just take out your jumper. Your jumper. Jobs are good.
Yeah, I think I need your help. I can't. Okay.
My ears are too small.
Yeah, cool. Right. So Kathy should put these back in order for you.
Yeah, I do.
So have a quick look through. Your DW all the way through.
Okay.
So present the one. And
so that's camera 2 there and
camera 2,
camera 1.
Kelly, what's your Twitter handle?
Camera 3. So always in the studio you'll know which your camera is. Middle one is always for when both of you are on camera.
Right, okay.
And then you'll always...
I'll be normally camera 3.
If you're sitting on there, you'd always go that way. So you always cross. And that's what people have done with the cameras. That's what they're actually doing in television studio. So it's you the first bit, and then just check ahead and see where you're going. So there's a little change in vision, so you've got kind of...
Oh really? Should I put it
Yeah.
like
and you're
inside
going to
there?
come to 2 in the middle, so
There we go.
you're going to do 3, the majority of it to 2,
Okay.
there to 3, sorry.
So, I haven't watched it. Do you? No, I've written on this house.
Well, they're coming up just before the thing.
Kelly.
After the opening tune.
Okay.
Duncan and I put.
So,
we make sure we know.
have a little read through, make sure you're happy with it.
Yes. Okay. Sam.
So you're Kelly.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Okay.
I was at Great Yorkshire Show earlier this year and I had a go at the weather presenter.
All right, cool.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just do the old relaxed thing. It's your pull your shoulders up beside you. Just drop them.
Okay. So I'm presenter 2
You're
and
A bit of
Sam.
smile and a bit of
Yeah.
Camera 1.
Okay.
You can afford to
So
smile.
1.
You're on
Right.
Sorry, my
Kelly.
That's all right.
That's Sam again. Camera 3. And that's all the way down. Camera 3. So that's still Sam all the way down.
Okay.
Dead ahead.
Brilliant.
Then there's a package, and then it's you, you're on camera 2, you're in a 2 shot, you're speaking. So it's
Okay.
you.
yeah.
Right.
I know that's my really simple way of doing it. Just so I do
Right. Okay. Brilliant.
Always on camera.
If you can, like Christine and Duncan did, try and do the ad lib. You've been covering journalism.
Yeah. Yeah.
So try and do the 30 seconds ad lib.
Okay. We could do
Wow,
this
can we?
Maybe I won't.
And then go on to the next one.
All right. Brilliant.
Right, I'll ask you who your favourite person's been.
Cartoon show. My ears are too small for the thing. That's why I was having trouble with it.
They're already doing it.
So you're all happy, are you relaxed? Smiley, smiley, happy faces until you get to the next one.
All right. Okay.
You alright? You alright down there?
I'm fine.
You going to stay there?
Just
Is that okay though?
relax. So when you come on air, you're not like waiting for it to start. So you just like nod to each other or something. You know, it's not too.
The main thing to remember as well,
Headlines, you know, kind of
tell people is that, yes, there's front of house jobs, and Christine and myself have basically, when we've been in television, we've done front of house jobs from the word go. Really, we've both come in and been on the telly. That doesn't often happen, but there are so many other jobs within television that you can make your own. There's the technical side of things, but there's also the bulletin producing. I mean, there's a great story about someone who came to Leeds Trinity, and he's now producing calendar. Now he walked in the door 3 years ago.
Josh.
3 years ago, maybe 4. 3 or 4 years ago, he was still here. He left here, then did a few other things. Very clever lad. And he now sits in the gallery in there and produces calendar on a regular basis, at least once or twice a week. And that's been 3 years and 4 years of being here.
Didn't Emily come here too? Did Emily come?
Emily came here.
She's also producing.
The program as well. So there are opportunities. It doesn't all have to be about all in front of camera. Great job. Go for it if you want to.
but there are so many other jobs as well. Floor managers, technical side. You know, there's lots and lots of
I know.
On the road reporters, I mean, that's what
Remember
I
you're
was,
that camera,
and you were,
I'm that
weren't
camera.
you? We were
When we're
on-screen
both on.
reporters.
When it's
or-
just one of us talking.
and that's such an interesting job
start.
because you're out and about every
We're all
day.
on too.
I love that job. You know,
But if,
I'd
if
do
it
that if I
phases
didn't do
you
this.
that, oh, you're in front of the camera, don't worry, there are so many other things that you can do behind the camera in television. So then, are you ready, guys?
Yeah, as we'll ever be.
Let's do it.
I think I can see the sexual chemistry here, can't you? I just thought I'd embarrass you. I'd rather have you got your girlfriend or boyfriend here.
It can easily be in the audience, so let's move
Yes,
on.
How many titles? 5 titles.
On
Nice
air.
smiley start up at the beginning. Then bring it down.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Yorkshire Voice, which today focuses on an event that's attracted some of the key figures in journalism to Leeds.
Yes, we're here at Leeds Trinity University, and each year they host Journalism Week with a range of speakers from across the industry, each passing on their thoughts and advice to tomorrow's reports, producers, directors and production staff.
We've been here all week reporting it. Kelly, who's been your favourite speaker this week?
I'd definitely say James Whitworth, who was the cartoonist from Sheffield Star. He spoke to me a bit afterwards about that he got a lot of grief from somebody from the EDL because James Whitworth compared him to someone from the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, wow.
So that wasn't great, but...
Well, for me, my favourite person has been Phil Hay from the Yorkshire Evening Post. As a big Leeds United fan, I'm always interested to hear what he's got to say.
Yeah.
Well, later in the programme, we'll be meeting three of the main speakers this week, including Tom Bauer, who's one of the country's leading investigative journalists and published over 20 books. He told a packed audience on Monday that specialism has led to him where he is today.
Yes, and Tom will be telling us more about some of these he's targeted, including Richard Branson, Bernie Eccleston and Gordon Brown.
And we'll be hearing from two Leeds Trinity's recent broadcast journalism graduates, Charlotte Swift and Karen Liu. They'll be telling us how they got their first jobs before they even graduated.
And we'll also speak to Jules Matson, a freelance journalist at ITM.
If you've done the work at an early stage to create a body of work for yourself, if you are, while you're studying, writing up stories in the student press, pitching stories to local outlets, filing FOI requests, making things, then when you graduate, you're in a good position in that you have a portfolio of work. You can go to people and say, you know, this is me, and you probably will have established some relationships along the way.
Yes, more tips from Jules still to come. But first today, to the main news, which dominated by the tragic house fire in Leeds early this morning, in which 3 children died. Chris Kiddie reports from the scene.
Oh, well done.
Oh, I died.
I love your serious face at the end. Very good, very good. Children are dead here. I'm very serious. Excellent. Very good. Pay attention there. That's good. And the ad lib, spot on. You know, something that you're confident about talking about.
Yeah.
Something that you know you can talk about, and that's all it is. You know, when we're on the telly, we're only talking to, well, you know, your granny or whoever you think is behind the lens. We're not talking to lots of people. That defeats the object. If you're talking about something you're knowledgeable about, something that's happened to you, something you've witnessed,
Yeah.
you can do that in a nice, relaxed way. You did that ever so well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's in the voice, and I think, you know, you both were very, very good, and it's about having that, just a confidence in what you, I mean, you don't even, sometimes you can get words wrong or little bits of information wrong, but as long as you sound confident and you project well, as I said before, then that's half the battle, to be honest. And
That's
you
what
did really
we do with
well.
names. If you're never sure of a
Yeah.
name, just say it loud and proud.
We just say, I always say, right, that's the
There
new
may be-
pronunciation.
There may be
But
three
it was,
people who go,
yeah.
you didn't say that right, but we're not going to do it for that.
Yeah. People don't notice as much anyway if you say it with confidence. That's the key.
Yeah.
Sound
So well
confident.
done. That was really, really good.
Well done.
Smashed it.
Nailed it. Yeah, if you have, yeah.
We have
One more.
One more.
Go on, Connell. Get yourself on there.
Go on, Tom. Go on, Tom.
Go on, Connell.
Go on, Tom.
Go on, Connell.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. One more, folks.
Go on, Tom.
Well done, mate. Excellent stuff.
Enjoy it, Kelly.
Right, now.
What's her name?
Hi, Jasmine. How are you doing?
Yes, it's not. No, you're fine.
It's all right. It's just kidding. It's just we don't want to put your ears. Both of these in before. Okay, so best thing to do. Do you want to swap? Now, you do Jasmine. Let Christine fiddle about in your ears.
Yes.
Do
So, is that a right one or a left one?
Now then, I've got the earpiece on. Just don't reach. Click on the outside.
So it goes into your ears.
Cool. Lewis?
No, it's not. Now then, where's your earpiece on?
It was my
Is it calling you more than radio now?
these things.
Is it calling more than radio now?
A little bit.
You enjoy it?
So how
But it's just practice doing it.
I can make confidence.
What's that?
it's a bit more awkward when I think this
It wasn't in my ear properly, so you saw me right.
What were they trying to say?
Yeah, the back of your arm.
I have to practice that.
And then this needs to go, you sort of pop it out as it falling out.
It will bring up your...
Yeah, that's fine. Cool.
Just kind of, you might have to hold it in actually.
Hello.
Do you want to pop that on your jacket?
Thank you, the photo.
So you're 2.
Yep.
So you're number 2. You're number 1, Jasmine.
Okay. So are you happy with that? So yeah.
Good, good.
Yes.
So you're number 1, so you're going to, so that bit is always camera 2. You're saying that bit. Lewis is saying that bit.
Yep.
Then you're saying that bit on camera 3.
Richard's running late, so he's not until 1 now.
And then Lewis will say that bit to camera 1. So where it says your DW basically.
Oh my god, it's too hot.
Under the light, then you're under the light.
Then again on 3.
I'm the easiest hand in the world.
Well, that's camera 2, so you're both looking at camera 2 then, so you're in shot there. And you're saying that. And then is the package.
On
And then you're not saying anything, but you're in shot. You're in 2 shots, you're looking at camera, but very serious stuff. So don't forget the
On Duncan.
Oh dear.
You got the ring by the way,
Nice and relaxed. Have you got a problem there?
That earpiece is not...
Yeah.
I couldn't hear much, to be fair, in that earpiece. I couldn't hear much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yes, we're here at Leeds University. Sorry? Yeah, I'm gonna sit this way.
Feels okay?
Yes, we're here at Leeds University.
The weird thing is if they don't want to make
with a range of speakers from across the industry, each passing on their thoughts.
We'll try and go with that.
Yeah, okay.
If it falls out, put your finger over it. Just hold it in.
Okay. Oh.
As it has. So yeah.
Jasmine, you're going to have to use your own fingers to
Yeah, okay.
Duncan can't feel what...
There we go.
Okay.
It's usually easiest if you do it yourself and just get to know your own ear really. So you fiddle about so it drops into place.
It helps with
Listen to someone more about some of those things.
Right, have a go.
Richard Branson, Bernie Eccleston,
And you need to hold it like that all the time. Just hold it like that all the time.
Okay.
Because we understand why you're doing this. That'll be better. Don't worry about the way it looks. I know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be better for you if you have it if you're here rather than not. So. Quiet on the floor.
Ready to roll?
He's so bossy, isn't he?
And coming to titles.
If you've done...
What's going on in there? Nice and relaxed, guys.
Hello and welcome to York's The Voice, which focuses on an event that attracted some of key figures to journalism into Leeds.
Yes, we're here at Leeds Trinity University, and each year they host Journalism Week with a range of speakers from across the industry, each passing on their thoughts and advice to tomorrow's reporters, producers, directors and production staff. So, how are you finding Journalism Week?
I'm really enjoying it. We've had some really interesting people come in today. And yesterday we had someone from WeTheUnicorns.com come in, and they was talking about how YouTube has become a key feature and blogging and stuff like that, and how that has really helped journalists. And that is something that I'm interested in taking up doing now. Like, I'm interested in starting a blog, and it's all because they inspired me during Journalism Week.
Cool. But
well, later in the programme, we'll be meeting 3 of the main speakers this week, including Tom Bauer, who is one of the country's leading investigative journalists and has published over 20 books. He told a packed audience on Monday that skepticism has led him to where he is today.
yes, and Tom will be telling us more about some of those he's targeted, including Richard Branson, Bernie Ecclestone and Gordon Brown.
And we'll be hearing from 2 of Leeds Trinity's recent broadcast journalism graduates, Charlotte Swift and Kieran Liu. They'll be telling us how they got the jobs even before they graduated. And we'll also speak to Jules Mattisson, a freelance journalist at ITN.
If you've done the work at an early stage to create a body of work for yourself, if you are, while you're studying, writing up stories in the student press, pitching stories to local outlets, filing FOI requests, making things, then when you graduate you're in a good position in that you have a portfolio of work. You can go to people and say, this is me, and you probably will have established some relationships along the way.
Yes, more tips from Jules to come, but first, today, to the main news, which is dominated by the tragic house fire in Leeds early this morning, in which 3 children died. Chris Kidley reports from the scene.
Sorry you had to hold that in there, Dan. It's one of those things where it's better to be able to hear than not hear at all.
When you actually do, you get a moulded one that was fitted to your ear, so it's all a lot easier, that you can use your own. But
well done.
Yeah, well done. Did really well there. And another great. I like Tiddley. Chris Tiddley. Was it Chris Tiddley or?
Chris Tiddley.
Kidley.
I just went with it.
No, you did brilliantly. Cheers. Absolutely great. And the ad lib was excellent as well. Very relaxed and confident.
Guys, if there's any other questions, a couple more questions, if any more, then please ask. Or I think we're done.
Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for coming and listening to us, waffling on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so nerve-wracking. I was saying that my legs were like...